Hello everyone. I'm so glad you've joined me today. Are you ready to make this great card with me? Let's get started. I'm going to move that over there. For our card, I use the Painted Poppies dies, specifically that image and that leaf. And then I use the coordinating Painted Labels dies to cut them out. And I also use this little edge piece for my decoration. So that's the pieces I use. Check your stash and see what you can come up with. You may have stuff you can use. All right, first thing we need to do is we need to do our background. And for this background, I took a piece of Blushing Bride and the subtle embossing folder and I embossed it. Now when you go to emboss yours, see what you have. I'm going to move this because we're going to do some splattering. And if you have something that's similar, use that. You know, you don't have to use what I use. Whoops, this one is the one that gives me a fit to open. There we go. All right, I'm gonna add some Poppy Parade ink to a block. All right, and I'm gonna do some splatters. And you know what? I'm gonna pull in a towel because that will at least protect my surface some. And I not have to worry about it. I have old towels that I use in here. All right, I'm gonna take a water brush and I'm gonna add some water to this ink and I'm gonna water it down a lot. And here's why. I'm gonna take a paintbrush and then I'm gonna take and load it up with the ink and I'm just splattering it, tapping it against this until I'm happy. And that's how you can get splatters quick and easy. So I'm going to put that up there. Let me move this before I put my hand in it. All right, got that out of the way. Let's clean that up. And let me pull the card back in so we can see it. And I'm just setting that up there to dry. Let's work on our element here. To do that element, I used the Stitched Nested Labels dies, and it is actually not the largest but the next one down, and I cut one out and then I cut it off. I mean, if you've got a scrap piece of paper, use your scrap piece of paper. Don't cut a whole one out unless you want to do two and then just cut it in half. All right, so I've got that piece. These two pieces are going to get added to the top and bottom of that, and it's longer than it needs to be, but that's okay. So I'm going to take and I'm going to add some glue along the bottom, and I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it at the edge. All right, and set that down. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this. Just add a little bit of glue, not a lot, just to hold it in place. And I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put this one down at the bottom. And I'm kind of using, if you give me a minute, I'll show you. I'm using this line right there. See how it's thick? That's what I've tried to line up with the edge. And since I'm using glue, I can adjust it if I need to. Now I'm going to give that a few minutes to set before I do too much. On a piece of real red, I think it is. Nope, it's Poppy, sorry. On Poppy, you want to stamp your flower with Memento and use the die to cut it out. Then you're going to take some garden green and garden green ink, stamp your leaves and cut those out. We're going to use some glue dots to put those on. So let me see. I think I did it this way. All right, so I'm going to attach that one there. And I'm going to go back and add another one. Now I'm kind of trying to keep it on that stem, but I'm also going somewhat into the thicker part so that it doesn't break off or come off. All right, so there I've got my leaves. I added. This is going to go on with dimensionals. So I'm going to pull my dimensionals out and I'll add them. And by now I can take and cut that without too much trouble, worrying about it too much. All right, so there's my dimensionals. And I'm going to finish adding those to my background here, or to my flower. Okay, so there we have it. Now that's ready to go. So let me go back to my piece here, and I usually turn it over and cut it. So you're going to cut those pieces off. All right, now we need our black piece and our pink piece, and this goes on here, and it's about 1/8 of an inch difference. It's not much. So I'm going to add that to my card base, and I'm going to use tear-in tape, or I should say double-sided tape. I use Stampin' Up! Products, but you don't have to. You can use what you have. Most of you probably have Stampin' Up! Stuff because you would have found me through my blog and have seen that, or searched for the product that I used and I came up. All right, so let me get that on there. Okay. And I'm gonna take the back off of this and make sure you burnish those ends so that you don't pull it away from the thing. All right, now I think I'm going to do it this way. For some reason this looks right side up, the other way didn't. So I'm looking at my edges and I'm putting it down, and and I'm having a hard time seeing it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull in my card base, and that way I can see a little better. There we go. Much better. All right, got that down. And like I said, we're going to add that to our card base. All right. And this is just white. And this goes on with some glue. Okay. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm putting it on the right way. I put them on upside down, backwards. Okay, so there's that. Now we're ready to add this piece. And this is a quick and easy card. I mean, you'll spend more time cutting things out than anything else. And I'm going to turn this sideways only because I want to have this edge even with the pink. So I want to see it. There we go. And I've stuck that down. Now it's time to take off our backs. And the only thing we have left is our ribbon. And I love this polka dot ribbon. It is really easy to dye too. I dyed it for a collage I worked on, and I have it sitting up here, so I'll show it to you how easy it is using some alcohol and re-inker. But let me get this straight first, because this one is being persnickety with me. All right, oops, missed that. All right, let's add this. And I've got to be careful. I don't want my flower to go past the edge of the card. So I'm going to add it like that. And then here's that real red that I dyed. I'll flip this over so you can see it. So it's easy to dye, and you just have to have a glove or you'll get inky fingers. All right, so let's tie our bow with this. Now there is a trick to tying this. You want to, give me a little bit more. You want to take and you get your bow started, and then you pull back before it gets too tight. Pull back really, really tiny, tiny loops. All right, and pull it some, pull it back again, tighten it a little bit more. All right, and then, oops, that one's too big. Don't pull it too tight or you can't adjust it. All right, there we go. Once you get it to the size you want, then you pull it tight. All right, let me cut my ends like so. All right, and then this goes on your card base with a glue dot. All right, and I'm gonna set that there, and then I'm just gonna pinch it to pick it up, and then I'm going to put it right at the tip like so. And there you have it. And make sure you use that stamp and the ink to do the inside in the envelope. All my measurements and supplies are listed in the information section below. Just click on the links and it'll take you so you can see all the information. I so appreciate your coming in. Please leave me a comment, as I love to hear what you have to say. And let me know if there's anything you'd like me to do. I'm always looking for ideas. Thanks for visiting. Have a great day.